Beaches are getting hit with red tide, and while the concentration levels are relatively low, that could all change pretty quickly. 4 in Your Corner's Lisa Greenberg sat down with a local fishing guide to see what these blooms mean for business.
I don't know anybody that likes red tide. Certainly no fishermen or boaters like red tide. We all wish it would go away.
But Captain Ralph Allen tells me he doesn't see that ever happening. He runs Kingfisher boat charters in Punta Gorda and says red tide's a problem we Floridians know all too well. A recent report by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission shows a bloom, mainly offshore, that stretches from Charlotte Harbor to southern Collier County. FWC says parts of Charlotte are seeing very low concentrations along shore, with some places in Lee, Collier, and the Pine Island Sound System seeing concentrations that are a little higher. But Allen says all that could change very quickly.
Very hard to keep track of. Can change day by day, even sometimes hour by hour.
And he says a more severe bloom can have damaging economic impacts.
Any beachfront business owner knows that having red tide in your area during a busy time can be devastating to your business.
Allen would know. He does boat tours and fishing trips and has lots of experience with red tide. And he tells me it's a big problem for businesses that rely on tourism.
It puts a pile of dead fish where you're trying to set up cabanas behind your beachfront hotel, and that's not going to be good for business.
Now, red tide may bring a stink to your beach day, but Captain Ralph Allen tells me he's had to cancel more of his boating trips because of rainy days like today than because of red tide.
And he says the economic effects aren't long-lasting.
If red tide was going to shut down tourism in Florida, it would have done so centuries ago.
So until we see those fish belly up, Allen says to enjoy the beautiful state we live in.
Overall, we're blessed to be in Southwest Florida where the weather's usually nice, the people are friendly, the fish are biting.
All right, well, that was Lisa Greenberg reporting. Allen says red tide is a naturally occurring event put into play by Mother Nature. He says he doesn't see scientists being able to predict it or control red tide.